Hello, family and friends. This is Denzel with two L's checking in again. And I appreciate everybody showing love, everybody watching my videos, everybody taking this advice, learning something new. Anybody that this has helped, anybody that helped me, thank y'all, man. I always want to say thank y'all and shout out to y'all. I hope y'all in good health. I hope y'all hydrated. I hope y'all had some good sleep last night. I hope that everything is going well with you financially, especially if you're doing the right thing. Straight up. But yeah. So I made this video today because I want to talk about things that affect and affect our moods. Things that affect and affect our moods. Things that affect and affect our moods. Like, I made a list of 10 things that affect and affect our mood the most. And yeah, hopefully somebody learned something from it, and hopefully y'all be entertained by this. Because again, I just be recording this because I'm kind of handsome, kind of good to look at. Ooh, I'm getting the light, you know. Because as a black man, I don't hear too many compliments all the time. I don't hear, "Oh, Denzel, you're so smart. Thank you for helping me." I appreciate you just being you. None of that. So sometimes we gotta give ourselves. So sometimes we gotta give ourselves that compliment, that gas, because somebody is definitely gonna come around and they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's arrogant because he's talking about the stuff that he likes about himself respectfully," you know. Not throwing it in people's faces, but just like you're so cocky that you like yourself. Not saying that you're above anybody, but the fact that you like yourself, I don't like that you like yourself. You need to tone it down. All right, so I feel better about myself. So that's, yeah, you gotta gas yourself up, because if you don't, nobody else will. I promise you. I promise you. But yeah, let's get into these things that affect how we were. I mean, how we feel, our moods. The first thing that I put on my list, and these are in no particular order, right? It's how we were raised. Like, a lot of times our upbringing and how we were taught as children uh, has a big bearing on how we feel and how we think. That's the most important thing, is nurture over nature, right? And if that nurture wasn't there, then people's natural instincts and their nature is going to kick in to be on survival mode. And if they were taught to be, it's okay for you to be moody, it's okay for you to be X, Y, and Z, you can be bad or you can be mean to people, because then they're going to practice that. So that is a big bearing. That was a big thing about how we feel and our moods around people, our energy, is what kind of parents did we have? How did they raise us, right? And do we agree with how we were raised? And do we want to continue that if we agree or if we don't agree? So that's the number one thing, is what kind of person are you and how were you raised when things get hard? Are you the type of person that's just gonna cut out and dip out, or you get bored or anything and you just go with that bored feeling? You just let your emotions guide you? Because if you were taught that that's okay, then that's exactly what you're gonna do. We always gonna be clicking on people. We always gonna be projecting. That's when we put our wants, desires, and feelings on other people. You know, like if we feel annoyed, uh, we might say that, "Oh, you're annoying me," because that's what we were taught. That's what we were told when we were growing up. Our parents, whenever they felt annoyed, instead of addressing what's going on with them, right? Not saying this my parents, but like the person in this instance, like if their parents were the type of people who looked at their child and they was like, "You annoying, you get out of my face, I'm not feeling good right now." That's how we're gonna treat everybody else, because that's how we were nurtured. So the thing how we get over that is, again, we need to figure out if we agree or disagree with how we were raised, and we need to figure out if we want to continue or discontinue the stuff that we were taught, and we need to figure out what are the good things and what are the bad things, and we need to prove on all the good things and remove as many of the bad things as possible. How we were raised. The next thing is mental health. A lot of people don't know that, like, when people are going through hardships and they hit a rough patch in their life, our mental health is the most volatile that it can be. I learned that from working in a shelter, being in a shelter and being homeless for like 7 years. 7 years. Intelligent, well-meaning, good people who were raised by good and great parents, right? If hard times hit and we don't have no coping mechanisms or nobody that we can console in or no places to go to help us heal, we make some really bad decisions when we're going through hard times and we don't know what to do. So when our mental health is low, this affects our mood. Like, you can see it with all the homeless people that's on the streets. Like, at some point, right, not all of the homeless people, because some of these people were like, they were just raised up to be crazy. They were just allowed and able to do that. But somebody in the streets, right, is looking at one of these homeless people and they thinking like they weren't like this their whole entire life. And they probably won't be like this their whole entire life. But the fact that they are in this rough patch right now, it's making it very, very difficult for them to even manage things. So we need to be really aware of our mental health. And the solution to that is we need to go to counseling. And counseling is the answer for three of the bullet points that I have on my list. Counseling is so important. Counseling is so important. Go get therapy, because when we go through hardships, a lot of times we can't talk to people, and that makes our mental issues a lot worse. It makes it way worse. The fact that I can't go and talk to so-and-so because they have their own problems and they aren't mentally there. So a lot of people just fall to the wayside. And we let our moods put us in worse situations because, again, our mental health isn't completely there. It's not there. I've seen it so many times, like so many intelligent people with degrees and everything. They're just good, kind people. They on the streets, and when they get on the streets, they lose it for a little bit. They don't always lose it forever, but they just lose it for a little bit. Walking around talking to themselves, walking around the streets butt-ass naked, clothes don't fit them, haven't took a bath in days, probably weeks, maybe longer. So our mental health, that affects our mood, and these are in no particular order. Past traumas. This is a very, very easy one to spot, but it is not so easy to fix, because the person dealing with the past traumas have to be willing to confront those past traumas like a bully, right? And if they're more afraid of past traumas than they see the benefits of confronting this behavior, this problematic issue, then most people won't even try to confront it. Like, we'll confront the person who harmed us, but we won't confront the demons inside of us. Right? Like we'll go get fucking R. Kelly for, you know what I'm saying, for being a monster. But the victim of that sometimes don't look at themselves and say that, look, I am damaged right now, right? It's not saying that what happened to me was my fault, but just like when a car has a crash, right, and you try to drive it without fixing it, there's going to be some kinks and some stuff that's going on that's going to continue potentially getting worse until we address this and we fix this. So past traumas affect our mood, and we hear it all the time with women when they say that, well, so and so did this to me, so I gotta be hard on the rest of the men because so and so messed it up for you. And we understand that you don't want to get hurt no more. We're not blaming you for protecting yourself, but we're also failing to acknowledge the fact that you still have some ticks, tings, and pings that are clearly going off. They're going to be dangerous to your future relationship. Yeah, so past traumas. And the solution to that is to go get counseling, go get therapy, go get some help. Because just talking to people about our problems helps us out so much. You don't even understand. Like, I couldn't afford therapy. I went through therapy through the shelters and stuff. They had therapy, but like where I did my therapy at was like on the bus stop. I did bus stop therapy because there's nothing like telling a stranger respectfully, not just going around just finding a stranger. I'm talking about somebody who genuinely wants to talk to you, have a conversation. They are concerned and they are able to listen and they are willing to listen. There's nothing like that bus stop therapy. I have never, ever, well, real therapy, but I have never ever felt something so relieving, right, next to like real therapy as the bus stop therapy. Having a conversation about what's going on with me when I was going through probation. I had to piss in the cup and everything. My frustration, my fears, going to jail, being arrested every 5 minutes. I'm talking to people on the bus and they telling me, look, you know what is ahead of you. You know what you got to do, right? So either you're going to continue to smoke weed and risk your freedom, or you're going to stop smoking weed. But either way, you know what's best for you. And sometimes stop smoking weed ain't the best thing. And then, and that stuck with me because that was some real shit. What most people would usually tell me in this situation is, Denzel, you need to stop smoking weed because you know you can go to jail. But people forget that I was also homeless at this time. So these people that I was talking to on the bus stop, they understood this because they've been through similar situations. And what that made me do was realize that I had to stop for a little bit so I can get back to doing what I wanted to do, and that was smoking weed and having my freedom and not having to piss in the cup and, you know, risk my freedom. So, yeah, getting therapy, talking to the right people, talking to people that want to help, you know, all these things are helpful when dealing with past traumas. The next thing that affects our mood is artificial sugars. Leave artificial sugars alone. They are the most addictive drug on the face of this earth. Artificial sugar is the most addictive drug on the face of this earth. People don't understand that, and they don't realize that this drug in the form of food is very addictive. Right? If you ever gave a kid some candy, you notice how they are up and they stay up until they crash. until they crash. And that's the same thing that's happening with us inside of our bodies, right? We get these artificial sugars in our body, and we have this high, then we crash. Then here's the second part of the addiction, right? Now we are craving the sugar and we can't function and we don't feel good until we get something sweet inside of our body. It sounds a lot like diabetes, I know, right? And if you know anybody with diabetes, their mood is definitely affected and affected by this. So the solution for that is invest in natural sugars like agave, dates. There's some other stuff in there too. Not honey, because we can't eat honey every day. We eat honey every day, we're gonna get lymphoids. But invest in dates and agave. That's another artificial sugar. I mean, not an artificial, a natural sugar out there. But dates and agave. These things absorb into our body a lot better. There's no crash and there's no high when we take it. So there's nothing to get addicted to or feel bad about after we take these things, agave and dates. The next thing is deficiencies. Iron deficiencies, vitamin D deficiencies, omega-3 deficiencies are the most common deficiencies that we have in America. Are the most common deficiencies that we have in America. I got to. When we have a vitamin D deficiency, right, we are more likely to be depressed, have sleeping problems, breathing problems. When we have iron deficiency, we're more likely to be tired. We're more likely to not have focus, have aches and pains. Omega-3s are the same way. They help make us lose focus. We're depressed. We tired all the time and we can't sleep. So it's so many things, right? And the answer to that is invest in vitamin D. 5,000 IUs of soy-free vitamin D. Go get you some iron in your body, like some key limes, some ginger, something that you can go to the grocery store and get some iron in your body. Cayenne has iron in it. You can go get you some cayenne. That'll give you some energy. So don't let our deficiencies put us in a bad mood. Wake up in the morning, put you some ginger, eat the ginger and make some ginger tea, make you some key lime water, some alkaline water, go get you some cayenne, get you a teaspoon of cayenne, dump it in your mouth. This will help out with our mood exponentially, and the cayenne will help us and protect us from COVID. The next thing is dehydration. Dehydration. If you ever met somebody who was dehydrated, you ever seen somebody dehydrated, or you ever been dehydrated, we are not in good moods. We are not people that you want to talk to. So with that being said, right, that's the easy solution. Make sure you hydrate. Make sure you feed your brain. Our brain only eats two things, oxygen and water. Right? Once we get that water and the oxygen from inside of the water to our brain, every cell in our body starts feeling better. We start seeing better. We start thinking better. We start feeling better. And our mood swings and our negative behaviors go down exponentially because something so dangerous and as vital as dehydration isn't affecting us immediately. So make sure you stay hydrated. The next thing is lack of sleep. Lack of sleep. If you get to the point where you start healing people, you ask them how they slept, the majority of the time people will be honest. They'll be like, I didn't sleep good, or I didn't sleep good. This letting you know what kind of person you're dealing with, right? They might still be tired, but at least we're honest with ourselves and they're honest with us, right? So that just gives you a heads up and a warning to be aware that, hey, look, this person might make a mistake or they might misinterpret something. But either way, just be prepared because they're tired. They might need a little bit of extra help or some extra attention. So just be patient with them. Yeah, so the solution for that is try to get some sleep. Try to get some sleep. All the late nights, staying up, trying to chase your partner and everything. I understand. We only got one life. But at the same time, what kind of life did we live when we was here? What kind of impression did we leave when we was here? And is staying up really late to potentially sleep with this person worth our legacy, the most important thing, like our taking care of our kids and our health? Nah, because this person surely that we trying to attract surely wouldn't want us to put our health in jeopardy just to impress them. And if they anybody worth being with, they understand. So I don't suggest that we stay up late hours. We don't be up too late. We don't waste time with people or places and things that aren't conducive to good health, helping us sleep and helping us relax. A person wanting you to stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning so you can slide certainly isn't the best partner for you, because if they really wanted you to slide and they had the best intentions for you, there's plenty of time in the daytime and the afternoon and at night, any other time besides when we should be getting our rest and recovering our body. So put yourself around people who are conducive to good health, who you feel safe sleeping around, who are going to help you get to bed and they going to bed at a reasonable hour because they have responsibilities just like you do. Here's the next thing that affects us, our mood, is our physical health. Whether you big or small, overweight or you underweight, these things affect our health so bad. Like you ever met a little skinny girl, right? And she just have the meanest, nastiest attitude. Like a beautiful woman, but she just mean and nasty. And the same thing, right? For a big girl, you ever met a big person, right? And they just like not a pleasure to be around. They're not fun to be around. Yeah. It's our physical health. They suffer from the same thing that everybody else does. Iron deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, and omega-3 deficiency, right? And a lot of times, these people, the overweight and underweight, don't want help. They don't want help because they think that they are fine the way that they are. They are fine underweight. They're fine overweight. They don't see nothing wrong with them standing in a place, right, or sitting down and feeling winded. Or with the skinny girl, she can't sleep. Her hair is falling out. She feels anxious all the time. So with that being said, right, we need to start being aware of our diet, putting things in our bodies that are conducive to a good mood. Things that are conducive to a good mood, like key limes, ginger, cayenne. Key limes, ginger, cayenne, sea moss, bladderwrack. Key limes, ginger, cayenne, sea moss, bladderwrack. Vitamin D. Not only will these things make the underweight gain weight and the overweight lose weight, right? They'll also help with our mood. We'll start to realize that when we somewhere and we chilling, we don't feel the anxiousness. Our mood's not flipping. We're not going from happy to sad all of a sudden. We're not going from, oh, I like being here to all of a sudden I hate everybody. Because that is a thing that affects everybody across the plane, whether you're big or you're small. Is those mood swings. That instance that you were somewhere and you want to be there, and all of a sudden you want to get up and leave. Our physical health. We have to take care of our physical health, because if we don't, nobody else will. It's like giving ourselves a compliment, you know? If I start feeling good about the way I look, then somebody else is going to recognize that. But if I just continue to ignore that, then people are going to sit back and watch me break apart and fall down, because, again, people have their own problems. And a lot of times people don't have the answers. Sometimes people don't want to help. Sometimes people can't help. Sometimes they can't see. But again, if we start fixing ourselves, that's why I'm giving this list of these things that affect our mood and how to fix it. Then people will start seeing the good and the great things inside of us, and more people will be respectively attracted to us in the right way, in a healthy way. Because if we're doing this right, we're not going to allow anybody with bad intentions to get close to us. But let's go down this list one more time of the things that affect and affect our mood. How we were raised, mental health, past traumas, artificial sugars, deficiencies, dehydration, lack of sleep, physical health. Here's the next thing, soy. Soy fucks us up so bad. Soy is in everything. I hate soy so much. Once you get soy out of your body, out of your diet, you'll truly understand how much it puts us in a negative mind frame, spiritually, physically, emotionally. Everything is not feeling good, and it's not up to par where it should be, because soy doesn't absorb into our body and it doesn't break down. Our body doesn't know what to do with the soy materials. It's not protein. It's just material. And it gets inside of our bodies, and it attaches to our lungs. It attaches to our digestive system. It'll stick to anything that it possibly can. It'll stick to our prostate. It'll stick to anything that it possibly can. And our body is steady trying to move this thing out, but it can't. And it's the equivalent of you being a janitor and somebody is like, hey, go clean that mess up over there. And you trying. And you trying for days turn to weeks turn into months. And after so long, you start getting frustrated. That's what's happening inside of our body. Our body is getting frustrated. Soy makes us feel wildly uncomfortable. It produces estrogen in men, and it produces, I think it was cancer inside of women, because it produces too much estrogen. So yeah, whenever you get a chance, go inside your refrigerator and look at everything that has soy in it. And I promise you, the vast majority of the food that you have with a label has soy in it. If it has soy in it, start throwing it away. Start looking up soy-free replacements. They put soy in our ice cream, put soy in our fucking dairy, all dairy products. Put soy in fucking y'all TV dinners. I don't eat TV dinners, but they put soy in all of this shit. All of this shit. And it makes us just feel so bad. So bad. It sincerely should be illegal to sell soy products, but I mean, who am I to tell somebody what to, who am I to force somebody not to put something in their body, but just because I don't agree with it and it's dangerous, you know? If they want to kill themselves, and I don't agree with it, but I mean, who can really stop them, you know? All we can do is just give people the information and let them decide. So the solution to the soy problem is go in your refrigerator, look at everything that has soy in it, everything with a label. Look at everything with the label, and anything with soy in it, throw that shit away, please, because I love you, and I definitely wouldn't tell you nothing that's going to hurt you. And the last thing that'd be affecting our mood, affecting and affecting our mood, the last thing affecting and affecting our mood, the last thing affecting and affecting our mood is our emotional intelligence. Our emotional intelligence. This is my favorite one right here because this is an easy one to fix. This is an easy one to fix, but it's only hard because people are so sure that they know something or we know something that it's very, very difficult for people to come through sometimes and teach them something, right? Like, we will respect a white man in a white coat who has never cured or healed anybody in his entire life over people like Dr. Sebi, Dick Gregory, so on and so on, right? We'll listen to them because we were indoctrinated and programmed to put anything promoted by the white system above any and everything, whether it's the truth or justice, right? So when somebody like me comes along and I'm talking to people and I'm like, hey, look, we can start working on our emotional intelligence today, right? And this is the thing that spurs that is people say, I feel like, I feel like, I feel like, I feel like. And, you know, feelings are adjectives, nouns, and verbs. In layman's terms, they are one word, right? So whenever we say things like, I feel like I'm a tripod, that confuses people. That confuses people so much. Instead of telling them this noun, this adjective, or this verb, it's usually not a verb. Because when we talking about a verb, we usually feeling something. But when we telling them this adjective or this noun, right? We get it. Like if I told you I feel good, or I feel happy, or I feel sad, we've all felt the same things. And that's why expressing our emotions is so powerful, because it is something very short that describes a vast array of things. But when we say I feel like a teapot, right? This person over here might be like, I think a teapot is destructive because it whistles. And another one might look at it and think that, oh, I think that teapots are the shit because I was a little teapot when I was growing up in the play. And but you got two different spectrums over here, right? that's trying to empathize and we're not getting it. And the problem comes is when I'm talking to people and I'm like, hey, we can work on our emotional intelligence, and people be like, well, I think I said it right, or I don't think that I need to change, because we don't see no problem in it. And that's how, what is the word, stunted our emotional intelligence is. That's how stunted our emotional intelligence is. That, like, when somebody comes to us, right, and they say that, hey, look, I think that you do X, Y, and Z better. I mean, X, Y, and Z good. But here's the one thing that we can improve on. People don't believe that or think that they need improving, right? Especially with our feelings or our emotions. So we don't think that we need to communicate with people properly, because we believe that we are saying it in a way that people can understand, and we're not. And when somebody comes along and tries to tell us that, some people are offended. So for those people who are thinking, hey, Denzel, what if what I'm about to say is more complex, more complicated than one word? I'm glad that you asked. What do I do? I'm glad that you asked. You're asking, what do I do? I got you. Here's what we do. Here are 5 synonyms to I feel. I think, I believe, I imagine, I wonder, I know. I think, I believe, I imagine, I wonder, I know. I think, I believe, I imagine, I wonder, I know. That way, right, when we say, I think that I'm a teapot, or I believe that I'm a teapot, or I imagine I'm a teapot, or I wonder if I'm a teapot, or I know that I'm a teapot, right? How are we communicating? What we're communicating, it is never wrong. Well, we can be wrong with what we're saying, right? Like, I can say that I know that I'm the tallest man in this room or in this building. It's not true, but how I communicated it isn't. And we can work on fixing that miscommunication from there. But if I tell you I feel like I'm the tallest person in this building, then that spurs about a whole another problem, because again, this person might look at it one way and this person might look at it another way, right? But I'm trying to convey something that's being misinterpreted, and because of my low emotional intelligence, it's not being conveyed properly. So this causes our mood to swing, because we don't understand how we affecting and affecting people around us. Our empathy is low. And once we start better communicating with people, we'll reduce those miscommunications exponentially. We'll reduce those rough patches with people exponentially. And this is why police have to be very careful with homeless people or people on mental breakdowns, because they understand that whatever this person is going through has caused them to get to this point. And if we don't use empathy and care and concern and love, we can lose somebody or more than one person from being apathetic. And that's what's happening every time our emotional intelligence hinders us from communicating or empathizing with people properly, right? So here's the synonyms to I feel, if it's more complicated than one word. I think, I believe, I imagine, I wonder, I know. So yeah, this is my quick little video. So I hope y'all take some of this information and y'all use it for the good as best y'all can, because I know that somebody's going to hear this and it's going to make an impact and it's going to better their lives, because somebody told me these things and it bettered my life. So please drink 16 ounces of room temperature water and get some sleep. And remember that you love. and move and look like you love yourself. Love people around you too. All right. Denzel with 2 L's. I'm out this bitch.